Hey everybody, this is herculespetix, founder, curator, docent, and gift shop employee of the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies. Today we're going to be looking at Sabertooth Swordsman and the Mayhem of the Malevolent Mastodon Mathematician. Written and lettered and gray tones by Damon Gentry, pencils and inks by Aaron Conley. And this Aaron Conley guy, he had never seen him before. This is some stupendous art, as you can tell by the cover here. This is a very interesting story, comic. It reminds me of like if Dave Cooper drew like a kick-ass fantasy adventure, but with a lot of humor. So as you can see, this is some crazy business going on here. And this is our hero, the Samurai Swordsman. This is a pretty hefty, nice hardcover from Dark Horse. Came out in 2017. And, yeah, I never heard of this. I think I saw this at a show, a comic show. It was super cheap. I flipped through it, fell in love with the art immediately, and got it. And not only is the art really nice, but it is fun as hell. It's funny, tons of humor, kick-ass action. It's everything you want. Nice little title page illustration. I think he did this just for the book. Credits. And we start the graphic novel. Here we see our protagonist. He's just gotten the shit kicked out of him, as you can tell. We don't know what's going on, though. We see this cloud drop a flyer. And it says, "Frail and sissy much? Tired of getting punched repeatedly in your sensitive little face? Travel to Sasquatch Mountain and get fabulous power." So he does just that. Look at this crazy Sasquatch Mountain. So he climbs up this crazy, perilous mountain, makes it to the top, and he meets the Cloud God. The Cloud God points at him. Sorry, I just wanted to look at this crazy art. See what I mean? Like, this is a really fun adventure comic, but this looks like total indie art, like some indie artist, Fantagraphics could publish or something. So he turns him into the Cloud God turns him into all these various creatures. He's basically trying out all these little things. This is great, these little 6 panels. Just seeing all the various bodies he gives him. Finally, he gives him a Sabertooth body. And he seems very pleased with himself. So basically, the Cloud God has given him these powers so that he can seek vengeance and justice. I guess he's done this before. But first, he must go through a test. He must be tested. And he has to fight this weird monster. It's pretty bizarre. All the fights in this comic are really pretty kick-ass and amazing. They're just really fun stuff. But they always have like goofy sound effects. And there's always a lot of humor in it. And incredibly gory, as you can see. Kind of repulsive. Lots of goopy gore everywhere. So he passes his test, he kills the monster, and now he can proceed on his journey. Just incredible art here. Look at this stuff. This guy's really good. And kind of a complete original. I mean, I definitely see influences here and there, but this is just amazing. I like this. This like shows the sense of humor. A lot of comics would show off the gear of this guy. So it's like, Eye of the Saber-Toothed Tiger. Talking about how his night vision. The Fangs of Fury, fully functional frontal flesh flares. His claws. But then it says, sweatpants, the very definition of comfort and mobility. So he climbs back down Sasquatch Mountain. And now we see kind of a montage of him, all the things he's fighting. Fighting these bat people, these skeletons. kind of Harryhausen skeletons with an Arabic touch, giant snakes, and we see him flying on this creature here. Now, guys, at the end of the comic, this graphic novel, I should say, we're going to see these stories all illustrated in full color from Dark Horse Presents. I kind of think that's cool how they just give you a little teaser and then he fills it in later. So, the Swordsman comes upon this, looks like a gypsy trailer. Oh, I'm sorry, Romany. I'm learning. And he meets these two fellows. And this woman comes out and they're like, you know, bring this guy a meal. And look at this repulsive looking meal. It's like some giant grasshopper, I think, cooked on a platter. And these Romany are like, eat. And look at this. He crunches down on this repulsive repast. And it kind of makes him trip. Look at this great bizarre art here. Looks like an underground comic to me. These weird panel borders. So it's like in this Fantasia, he meets a kind of a cricket god, it looks like. And he's given this like jumping power. And we see like two giant crickets on his feet, where his feet would be. So they can kind of leap for him and propel him. He leaps so high that he sees the cloud god. But then again, this is probably all in his imagination. Look at this weird looking moon here. That totally looks like an underground comic. So now he sees himself, his old self, the guy we saw at the beginning. And this was his old life when he was very happy. He lived in this kingdom. Everything was great except there's a plague going on. But him and his wife, Jolene, are fine. And they're totally in love. Jolene gives him this little figurine as a gift. And I guess basically the big kingpin in this area is the Mastodon Mathematician. He's got all these goons who kind of dress like this. We'll see them more close up later. And they're just always going around picking on people. And luckily they don't pick on them. We see some of them mutated here. Look at that. See, this is what I was talking about, the Dave Cooper. He's just like repulsive, pustulant, like bodies and faces. So they see this giant like vehicle going through the desert. And this looks like something Jim Woodring would design. It's like some kind of tank. Such a cool looking thing. Very kind of Arabic. And some of the goons come out. And they basically say, we're taking your woman for the Mastodon. He wants her. He wants all the women, I guess. They grab her, throw her in the truck, and they beat the living shit out of him. And that leads into that first page. I love the character design, the costume design on these goons. Really interesting looking. Here's another thing that's like an indie artist, like when someone's like beat up, it's just so messed up. His face just looks like some raw pulverized steak or something. So now Swordsman wakes up. Great page here. Him just vomiting. See? Dave Cooper. I'm sure there's other artists too he reminds me of, but I can't think of him off the top of my head. So now it goes to this, finds this little, kind of a little hut. Not a little, sorry, a cottage. And this crazy old lady there, cat lady, she's got all these cats. She thinks Swordsman is one of her kitties. She's obviously, she's demented. But she gives him this magic bag of kitty litter. She says it's good for more than just your stinky poo. He takes it even though he's like, oh, what a crazy lady. Man, these backgrounds, all the architecture, fucking gorgeous. Look at this stuff. This guy is so skilled. I think he won like the Russ Manning Best Newcomer of the Year at the Eisners or whatever it's called. And I could see why. Even though his art's a little too strange, I would think for most comic fans, it's very cartoony, you know? That usually doesn't fly. So now we see Swordsman. He enters the city, goes into this tavern. And some of those Mastodon goons come over. They're everywhere. They're kind of like brown shirts in 30s Germany. So he's trying to find the Mastodon's castle so he can rescue his wife. Look at this, like this table shatters here. Look at every little bit of glass is drawn. Some real like graphomania going on in some of these panels. But just the thing that really impresses me is the rubberiness of the characters, like a great animated cartoon, you know. Maybe this guy's from animation as well, but just everything has this very like lively, vibrant quality, like you know, cartoony. I guess the epitome of great cartooning. The gore continues. He bites off a guy's hand. One of these goons spits it out. Incredibly violent comic, but it just doesn't feel that nasty because it's so played for laughs, kind of. I like this little goon. He's like 3 feet tall. So he beats the shit out of all these guys. And then everyone in the bar, though, is all like, "You asshole, you ruined the bar. Get out of here." Even though he was attacked. Once again, amazing backgrounds. We see the cloud guy again. He's always somewhere in the sky. Look at just this panel of it, the rain. Just, this is exquisite stuff. So he sees another one of those vehicles, the Jim Woodring design vehicles, and he attacks it. And the guy riding it, or steering it, I should say, he's, look at this horrible monster. He hits Swordsman with his mace, and we get to see another cool fight scene. This comic doesn't let up. Look at this repulsive creature. He's got one huge arm, a kind of smaller arm, then these 2 little arms coming off of his shoulder. All of his skin is pustulant and disgusting and sweaty. And once again, we get another amazingly choreographed fight scene. I like in the midst of the fight, those little arms slap him in the face twice. And this tongue comes out. I guess it's a symbiote. This even more disgusting creature attacks the Swordsman. And Swordsman chops him off with his sword. Look at this. Splits the guy in 2. And so finally, these goons, there's more of the Mastodon goons on that little vehicle. He lets them live, he says run, but he finally finds out where the Mastodon manor is. They're so terrified of him that they spill the beans. Look at his face there. So he frees all the people in this vehicle, because that's what these vehicles are used to round up, you know, I guess political prisoners or people that Mastodon doesn't like. And they're all giving him shit. They're all like, yeah, now they're going to come back extra angry and get our children. Thanks a lot, asshole. Everyone's, even though they do leave the vehicle, but they're all pissed at him. No gratitude at all. This is another page of wonderful backgrounds here. I like how in this fantasy world there's still graffiti everywhere. I guess people would always, as long as there's buildings, people would probably make graffiti. We just don't think of it as like in a Conan type fantasy adventure. We see a little graffiti that says, "Beware of goat." I mentioned that for a reason. Oh, these are stunning panels. And this giant goat appears. This demonic looking goat. Look at that. Once again, I can't help but see Dave Cooper in here. Just the weird designs. The goat butts him. Another total. Looks like Sergio Aragonés. There's so much detail in there. It's crazy. So this goat is kicking his ass, literally. He turns around and kicks him with his hind legs. And then he lands in this place and he's surrounded by these goats. So he's trying to fight them. They're chasing him. A whole herd of them, it looks like. And finally, he remembers his grasshopper feet. I like this how you can see the ghost of the grasshoppers surrounding his feet. He leaps, an incredible leap. This is a pretty well-designed page here, where it's almost as he leaps, he's being blessed by the grasshopper god. You know, kind of symbolic drawing. I love that panel of him too. He's jumped so fast and so high that it's like the wind pressure is like, you know, pulling his facial muscles back. So he finally stops his ascent, stabbing this giant minaret, this giant tower. And the goats ram the tower, and we see it crack. I like that how he makes the cracks in the tower spell out crack. And the whole thing comes tumbling down. Another pretty striking image. I wish there was hundreds of comics like this. It's just total fun and beautifully drawn. Even if the story was complete shit and boring and annoying, you know, just the art is so good. This is really interesting. I mentioned I usually don't even mention the colorist a lot, but the reason why I mentioned the author's gray tones is it's really important in this comic, just as important as colorists are now in the digital age of coloring, where colorists are like the new inkers. They're kind of more important than whoever is inking something. And this is really good. All the ghosts of the goats attack the swordsman. You can barely tell, though. It just looks like total psychedelia. It looks like, you know, like H.P. Lovecraft, cosmic horror, where you're not even sure what you're looking at. And they're chasing Swordsman and this little kid who came out of nowhere. And he remembers what that old lady said who gave him the kitty litter bag. He opens up the bag a little, and all the ghosts are sucked into it. So I guess it's some magic little litter bag. Well, I think this isn't a little kid. It's just a little guy. I think he's an adult, but he's little. So they have this little talk. They decide to hang out, basically. I think he knows how to get to the Mastodon's castle easier. Another one of these stunning backgrounds. Look at this tree. Almost all the bark is drawn. He basically, he says, yeah, but before we go, come to my mom's house. She lives right around the way. She'll make you a nice meal. You can sleep there for the night. And then we'll get on our journey tomorrow. But when he gets inside, it turns out that his mother is an evil hag. Once again, almost not even sure what we're looking at here. Look at this amazing horror. All these skulls are intertwined in her hair. So it was a trap. And this hag attacks a swordsman with all of her braids, her skull beaded braids. And it looks like a swordsman's goose is cooked. She's going to put him in a big pot. But once again, swordsman prevails. That sword of his is just good at chopping off everything of his enemies. Tentacles, tongues. So he runs out of there. And then we don't even get half a page respite. And then one of those hands that he chopped off, it's still on his wrist. And he's like, gross. And I guess this hand shows him the way to the castle, like a creepy compass. Another nice panel of just background art. So, Samurai Swordsman falls asleep. The cloud god's watching over him as he sleeps. I like this little panel showing that he's basically a cat. You know how cats do that when they're tired and before they lay down? And he sees, I guess maybe the cloud god guided him, because all of a sudden he's right in front of the Mastodon's castle. All of those guards are there. Kind of reminds me of Wizard of Oz. Those, oh, way, oh, whoa. We see little shenanigans between them. They're like roughhousing and stuff. There's a whoopee cushion. It's called a poop pad. But then they hear this tremendous roar. They all go ready for battle. It's just really nice art to me. Just the blacks. I guess they call it spotting of the blacks. It's just a really well-composed page. And then Swordsman attacks these guys. And this is quite the melee. If you guys look closely, like take your time, we see every sword thrust, every arm being decapitated, every throat being slashed. All these guys are surrounding Swordsman, and he is just like Cuisinarting through them. But then he kills them all. But when he gets to the next layer, he climbs up these stairs. Oh, God, another beautiful backgrounds there. If this was a video game, these would be the bosses, I guess they call it. So it's these lovers. They look like wrestlers. And they're guarding the castle. And of course their dialogue's all funny. Almost all a lot of this is played for laughs. I mean, almost every page, all the characters are speaking like funny characters, you know? And so they just beat the shit out of poor Swordsman. The female one squeezes him between her breasts. They're doing all these great wrestling moves. I think that's called a suplex. I love her. Okay, this is maybe why I really think it's Dave Coopery. Because Dave Cooper would totally draw this woman's body. Look at those huge thunder thighs. Those are some nice sized thighs. And look at them, they're just stomping him into the ground. They haul him in to a cell. Look at that panel there. That is so good. So they have his kitty bag. They took all of his possessions off of him, including his sword, which is out there. And they're like, I wonder what's in here. And they open it up. The swordsman doesn't tell him what's really... Well, he does actually tell them what's in there, and they think he's lying. He tells them it's a bunch of dead goats, and those ghosts come out again. Once again, these like psychedelic ghosts. Look at this groovy artwork. And they totally ripped these wrestlers to shreds. Well, they subdue them, and then Samurai Swordsman escapes from his cell, grabs a sword, and runs them through. Beheads the woman, runs the other guy through. Look at this crazy shit. This guy's amazing. Aaron Conley. Don't forget the name. So he makes it into the main, master chamber. Of course, he uses his claws to just totally rip these guys' faces off, which they show in every detail. And he finally meets the Mastodon, Mathematician. He says, I want my wife back. And then he notices that the Mastodon has got the cloud god captured in this weird device. Look at this like simplistic art style here, as if it was for a kid's comic. But it's him describing how he captured the cloud god using this device. I guess the Mastodon is very like a mad scientist type, basically. Interesting word balloon here, where he's just like cut off because he's just like spouting off all this science jargon. Really like this character design. His glasses are super cool. They almost look like Kirby designed cool glasses. So he's claiming that he has the greater good in mind. He wants to cure the plague that is ravaging the land. So he has to conduct all these experiments. That's why he's been rounding up all these people. Swordsman is threatening him, saying, "Where's my wife?" This giant novelty-sized abacus falls from the ceiling, and the distraction allows Mastodon to make a run for it. Look at this crazy. This is like one of his labs where he's experimenting on people. There's like this pillar of flesh and faces and body parts. Ugh, so repulsive. So he keeps chasing him through all these various places, and he sees Jolene. She's tied up. And they have like one moment of reunion. But then the Mastodon says, I gave her the plague. I injected her with the plague a few moments ago. But now that he's got the Cloud God's rings, he figures, oh, I'll have the power of a god. I can take care of the plague with these rings. So he kind of zaps Jolene, but he doesn't know how to use these rings, I guess. Because Jolene, look at this, turns into this crazy kaiju. This character design is nuts. It's like some giant insect with three, I guess, appendages that have a mouth at the end, and little crystals hanging over each one, each which gives this kaiju a different power. So weird. So the first thing this kaiju does is zap Mastodon with a laser beam that slices him in half. Swordsman's chasing after her. He gets hit by a giant brick. And now he has a kind of dream where the Cloud God... It's a weird dream. He's in a schoolroom. And he's talking to the Cloud God. So basically the Cloud God says, it's like, you're going to have to kill her. She's a monster. She's going to destroy the whole country, you know? I love it. So the Cloud God shows him a hang in there, baby poster to inspire him, I guess. Oh, God, that's funny. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by how good the art is. This is even better. Look at this beautiful city, beautifully drawn city. So I guess one of the gems makes heat, one of them makes ice, freeze ray, and one is just a laser. So it's attacking the city. Samurai Swordsman realizes he can't let her attack all these poor innocent people. Meanwhile, the Mastodon's not dead for somehow. I mean, half of his body got sliced off with a laser. And he decides to use the rings again to save himself. And look at this, guys. This is like James Stocco type stuff. It's just decimating all these poor people. And Samurai Swordsman says, "Forgive me, Jolene," and he attacks. Chops off a tentacle. The thing's trying to zap him. Chops off all the tentacles. Or whatever you want to call them. The neck. I guess they're necks. And then under the hovering diamonds, they all grow back. And keep attacking him with ice rays, heat rays, and laser rays. He's doing pretty good, though. He keeps using his sword to reflect the beams back at the monster. Finally, he realizes, oh, I got to take out those diamonds, those crystals. That's what's keeping him alive. So he does just that, while avoiding these, flame rays and lots of fun pages like this, which is interesting penology, and I guess representing these little diamonds. These little guys. So he destroys the monster. But then luckily he gets one last moment with Jolene. It's like her spirit, her pure spirit. She comes down and she says, it's not your fault. You did what you had to do. That wasn't me. I want you to know I love you forever and ever. Kind of an actually touching moment. Now that Mastodon is back in action, he used the Cloud's rings. And before Jolene leaves to the, higher spheres or something, she gives Samurai Swordsman some of the power she possessed. So he's got laser eyes, a cold claw, and a flame sword. So he's got all the powers of those crystals. And now Mastodon, because he used the rings to save himself, he's a giant kaiju looking thing, but very warped. He's got these weird crab legs, or kind of half Mastodon, half crab legs. Look at this splooge. Just so viscous. Once again, guys, Dave Cooper. I guess there's other artists who kind of have this kind of viscous quality and kind of gnarly, nasty shit. But they're not drawing comics like this. This is fun, usually. They're doing more serious work. So now we have an epic showdown between the Mastodon and the Swordsman. Sound effects are really good in this comic. I really like them. Love this guy's face here. Has some nice cartooning. So all the townspeople are happy. They're like, that tiger, finally they're grateful. They're like, that tiger guy killed, the Mastodon, the monster Mastodon. And then all of his body chunks, the Mastodon's body chunks are like flying through the air. They land in these people's mouths, and all of a sudden the plague goes away. And apparently it's very tasty as well. Everyone's starving. So everyone just starts attacking it. The Cloud God is now free. And we see all of the people hovering over this, the dead Mastodon, chopping them up, taking the food home in baskets. This one ungrateful guy says, there's not even barbecue sauce on this. And Cloud God turns up into a pig. And this is the last panel. We just see him riding Cloud God off into the sunset. I love that little fez of his. That totally makes this character. If he didn't have that fez, it'd be much less appealing. Okay, I was supposed to write these down, but I forgot. So it's called Side Quests. Character designs, pinups, cover art, and bonus stories. So guys, if you don't have the hardcover version of this book, you're missing out on some of the best shit in this book. These 3 color stories that were in Dark Horse Presents, Volume 3. And man, seeing this art in color is wonderful. They're actually really fun little stories. And like I said earlier, they tie into that page where we just saw little teasers of his adventures. Now we're going to get to see what happened. We also have a lot of great pinups, which I think might be in the softcover. This is Aaron Conley's concept sketches. Everyone looks pretty much the same. Didn't look like he changed much. Really nice stuff. Mike Allred, of course. That's pretty nice. I love this one with these two beefy ladies. And this is Dilraj-Man. Don't know him. 2 N's. Dilraj-Man. This is David LaFuente. I like his style. I like this one too. It's really nice. This is by a guy named Tyler Landry. I believe these pinups were made just for the book. These weren't in the original comics. This is Matthew Allison of Kinker fame. We just looked at him roughly a few weeks ago. Of course, Brandon Graham, focusing on Jolene, her zaftigness. Stuff's really fun. I like Brandon Graham. I like this guy, Buster Moody. It almost reminds me of like early Eastman Laird. Just the gray tone of it. Really, I would like to see more of this guy's stuff. This looks fun as hell, this art style. So here we have the first story, Sabertooth Swordsman in Swamp Snake Sickness. And there's this giant red snake. And the way he talks, it kind of reminds me of the Jungle Book. He's kind of talking in almost riddles. And it's weird, too. He's also very nihilist. He's basically just saying, give up, there's no hope. Really nice panel. This could be like P. Craig Russell to me. He did those stories. He did the Jungle Book adaptations, some of them. So the snake bites Swordsman. And guys, this is such a treat. We have a few pages of the Swordsman's poisonous, delusion. The poison enters the system. And we see he has all these visions of maybe past lives and future lives. We see him getting eaten by dinosaurs. These dinosaurs are almost worthy of William Stout. These are really great little dinos. Very cartoony. Very nice. I like this too, how the snake's body is the panel border. Okay, guys, look, it's that little guy from the Flintstones. I can't remember his name, but the little guy from outer space. This crazy contraption he's riding. It's like a bio ship killing. And all these things, like, it looks like Swordsman's getting killed or attacked. And this cracked me up, guys. Look at Zardoz. It's an homage to Zardoz, that crazy movie. He's wearing this cool armor. This reminds me of that great Man-Wolf two-parter where he becomes a barbarian. We get another page of this, teaming up with this Panther character, fighting zombies that have ray guns. And they're zapping his arm off. And then him, like in a sci-fi setting, with this cute little dog in a vest. He's got like a laser sword fighting this insane monster. So he continues to trip. I love the way he draws his face here. And then he is in the snake's belly. While he was tripping, the snake just swallowed him. So he cuts his way out of the snake. God, look at really fun just designs, and because he's still fucked up, so he's seeing everything a little skewed. His other snake attacks him, a winged snake, I guess kind of like a dragon almost. And he's the same way. He's a nihilist. Your struggle is useless. All life ends in tragedy. God, this color, seeing him in color, I gotta say I prefer. I love his art in black and white. But these colors, the way the character looks, it's just gorgeous stuff. This is crazy. Samurai Swordsman just kind of puts his heels in and just rips the snake in half while he's riding it. Nice panel there too. Look at that face. I love it. And then he walks away. It was just a little short story. This is one of the adventures he encounters while he's searching for Jolene. Here's another Matthew Allison, I believe. I really like that. That's a really nice drawing. I gotta get that little contents page just to make sure. By the way, Matthew Allison does some of the color work on these stories. In fact, on the next one. Oh, I missed a pinup. Oh, this is Aaron Conley pinup. Sorry, I meant to say this is Matthew Allison colors just on this pinup by Aaron Conley, showing the goats. Now we get another short story. They always have like alliteration. This is Colossal Casuals Crusade. This is a really fun one. We see him trudging through a desert. He looks like he's dying of thirst. Finds an oasis. He's slaking his thirst. And then these giant bugs kind of stampede right by him. And they grab his pants. And so he's chasing after them. And they kind of go into this little hole in the ground. He dives in after them. I love the sound effect here, pud, as he lands in this these ruins. So it looks like he's in a sarcophagus. We see all these sarcophagi. I'm sorry, what is it called? Where sarcophagus is. These weird gas guns come out and shoot gas at him. And he's just like, I love this how he's coughing up a little skull cloud. to let us know that this was poison gas and he would have died if he stayed inside. And guys, I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago, we did Small Press Egress, and there was a mini comic where a guy did a whole kind of sword and sorcery take on the Pac-Man game. And look, this is so weird. It's very similar. I wonder if he saw that mini comic. This is such a fun page, guys. It's like one of those family circus things with Jeffy. We just see him going through all these traps. We see the fruits in the corners, just like Pac-Man. And he's still chasing those bugs with his pants. There's all these various side trips he takes. Everyone's got a monster in it. This one's got that cute dog, though, we saw earlier. But it still has a giant spider, too. More fruit. These Anubis analogs come out of nowhere and attack him. So it has a very Egyptian feel, this one. All these monsters are fun as hell looking. Like, I wish like every little thing in here was just a little 4-page story. Seeing him fight these guys. And here we see Inky, Binky, Blinky, and Dinky, or whatever their names are. The Pac-Man ghosts. Sphinx-headed giant dog. He's licking his balls. And he's back on the trail of these bugs. Follows them into this beautifully drawn chamber. And right when he runs down the stairs, all these mummies wake up. And they attack him. Very scary mummies. Some of them have like dinosaur heads. And then all of a sudden, they hear a rumble. And it looks like the whole, this whole pyramid is breaking up. I like to see how we see him in the tunnel underground. And this is so weird. So these weird groupings of pyramids, it wakes up. It's a dude who's like asleep in the sand. So, of course, everything goes topsy-turvy inside. So this is such a crazy panel. All of the bugs fly out of his nostrils, this giant sphinx nostrils. And Samurai Swordsman's hot in their heels, and he sneezes them out right out of his nose. These colors, once again, wonderful colors. And I love this page. There's some pretty fun panelology here going on. So the Samurai Swordsman is flying through the air. He lands right into his pants, which happen to be floating, and lands on this crazy kind of pelican creature. And I guess he can talk. He says, "No worries, my furry." And that's the end. Just a fun as fuck little interlude in Swordsman's life. Here's a pinup of those two wrestlers, the wrestling lovers. Gotta find that page again. And this is by Damon Gentry. So I guess the writer is a pretty good artist too. I should mention, since the colors were so outstanding, that second short story is coloring by Joseph Bergen III. The first one with the snakes was coloring by Sloan Leong. Really like this one. Interesting art. Bizarre colors, though. I'm not sure how I feel about the colors. So this is a guy named Simon Roy. And now we have a third little short story. Once again, really nice colors by Bergen III. So this is called Double Date Discord. And Samurai Swordsman's on his journey. He's got to go past these bat people. They're asleep, so he's kind of tiptoeing through. Meanwhile, the cloud god is floating overhead. And we see him grab a parrot and just shove it in its mouth. I guess which causes him to make this fart. And I guess when the cloud god farts, it's bad. It's like a poison gas cloud. I love this page here. Using the trees as the panel border. We see him traversing through the forest, and we see the effect of the fart on Samurai Swordsman. Pretty funny. But unfortunately, this wakes up the Bat People. Another really nice panel. Just this cone of Bat People around him. Look at that. He doesn't have a chance in hell. So he runs. Ah, God, I love these colors. But not as much as I love the art. And I guess he runs into this graveyard, which the Bat People, I think, are scared of. They turn their tail and fly back. Meanwhile, we see the Cloud God go to his little cloud house. Even has a cloud gnome in front. He's blow drying his hair. I guess his blow dryer fritzes out, so that causes a thunderstorm. Look at this interesting. Using the lightning bolt here is this panel, but that also divides these. Somehow this lightning bolt wakes up all the corpses in this graveyard. These skeletons. And they've all got turbans. So if you remember, guys, this was all foreshadowed in that page. Like page 12 or something. So I guess Cloud God was being fancy with his hair because he's got a date. This woman Cloud comes to visit. They're having dinner and just hovering over this waterfall. Pretty beautiful scenery here. Meanwhile, the Swordsman is just getting bit by these skeletons. He basically punches one of them so hard, he goes flying through the sky and kind of takes off half of the Cloud God's face while he's eating his pasta. And I think the woman is just disgusted, so she kind of dissipates and leaves. The Cloud God is kind of unperturbed. I mean, he's a god. So he snaps his fingers and just has his buddy Clouds come over and play poker with him. Makes himself whole again. We look at the cards, and it's Samurai Swordsman, the faces of the cards, and skeletons. And we see Samurai Swordsman on this cliff edge, and all these surrounded by these skeletons. And it just says, it never ends. Yeesh. It's almost like you don't need, at this point, you don't need any more pages. It's like, yeah, he's going to figure out a way to escape. I kind of wish they did, though. This is by Aaron Conley with airbrush art by Gary Worthington. Looks kind of like one of those Indian comics. This next one is by Lynn Vizel. Kind of playing up the more cartoony elements. This is a pretty interesting style, this guy. And this guy's name is Zé Bernay. I really like that very deep green. Nice color there. But also his style is just very like indie. This is gorgeous. I love this. Kind of very Hindu-esque. That's incredible. That would be a great poster. And this is Aaron Conley. It's called Virat Purushan Vishnu Rupan. End papers, back cover with some quotes from some notables. And that's it for Sabertooth Swordsman and the Mayhem of the Malevolent Mastodon Mathematician. Hope you guys like looking at it as much as I did. I really dig this. I don't know if there's, I don't think they ever came out with the second one. Maybe they did, though. I don't know. But I couldn't see it on the internet. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for that. Or anything by Aaron Conley, to be honest. And I kind of like Damon Gentry, too. It's the art definitely was better than the story in this. But the story's damn good. It's just that Aaron Conley blew me away so much that it would have to be really stellar writing to keep pace. But I love the world it creates, all these crazy characters. It's fun stuff. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time here at the herculespetix Academy of Comic Book Studies.